Hello and welcome to another episode of the Not For Nothing podcast. I wanted to pick your brain today about your celebrity crushes as a teen. I want to kind of get into the mind of young Natasha and who was your number one heartthrob?
I feel like it's really important the way you said the words, because when I first pitched the topic to you, I feel like it came out as like what crushes that are teen celebrities.
Is that how you meant it?
No, I absolutely did not mean it that way.
I interpreted it the right way.
And I'm like, oh, so that's how the words should have gone in order.
Oh, yes, I am a wordsmith, you know?
Like the teen needed to be before. Okay. We talked about it on one of the other episodes, but for those of you who watch the OC, I feel like Seth Cohen was like a classic.
Okay.
But you just found this out. Jared Leto was on my so-called life, and that was like a big heartthrob crush moment.
I never watched the OC or My So-Called Life. But I would say, like, to back things up, I remember like one of my first crushes being Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC. So at that moment, I knew I was like the wild card weirdo. Like I was going to be into the wild card. He's like the forgotten NSYNC member.
Ew, you would totally be into like a forgotten NSYNC member.
You know what I'm saying? He's like the one that's there, but people like didn't primarily have a crush on him.
I feel like that's how I felt with Kevin Jonas.
I also felt like that with Kevin Jonas. Kevin Jonas was my favorite. I was
he was the introvert crush.
Exactly. And I do love something about that.
Wait, what's this guy's name?
Chris Kirkpatrick.
This is the whitest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he maybe had like little baby white boy dreadlocks at one point.
No.
Yeah, or weird braids. Weird like
I mean weird because he's
braids. White. Yeah, I mean weird because they're sticking out like Liberty spikes. Oh my God,
he's one of those guys.
It was a weird 90s moment.
This would be somebody, he looks like the guy from Cake Boss.
I know you're not about to tell me that I have a weird type, bitch.
No, I just could see that this would be a crush for like...
For a weird stoner girl.
No, just like Italians.
You think? My type hasn't been Italians until now, by the way.
I guess he just has like the...
It's bizarre.
It's like... I feel like he was also the most punk.
Exactly. It was giving like an air of no doubt.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah, there was, I don't know, Chris Kirkpatrick. He did things to me emotionally. But in my teenage years, I felt, you want to hear something funny?
What?
The other day I had a trigger memory. I was getting my hair dyed. And they told me, okay, sit up. So I go and look, and you know, they have examples of people's hair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like mostly celebrities. There's like Jennifer Aniston. And then there was one that I haven't seen in a long time. And I remembered it because I had a flashback to, like, for context, my current partner is a partner I had in my past when my current partner is also my first boyfriend. But there was time in between. But I had a flashback to 6th grade when I found out that his celebrity crush was Ashlee Simpson.
Oh my God.
And I used to be slightly like jelly of Ashlee Simpson in 6th grade because I was like, my man wants you and I know about it. What am I going to do about it? So yeah, I saw Ashlee Simpson's face and it all came flooding back to me.
I want that weird bob with the hair, the girl mullet.
I want the girl mullet. I want the bowl cut into the girl mullet.
Her like, and I feel, what was the term for it?
Give me the
choppy layers.
Yes.
Like, and I was
it was like the first time someone cut a bang just like that. Like when the side bang is just like a rectangle over your eye. Give me the girl mullet. I need that.
The girl mullet. My man's into that. Girl tax.
Girl tax getting a haircut because the celebrity your man liked in 2005.
Did you ever watch Freaks and Geeks?
I never did. We have like zero crossover in the shows we watched.
Like,
what was up with that?
Questionable today.
Are you calling me a freak?
No, but
geek?
James Franco in it is really cute.
Oh.
But it's different era.
Yeah.
Also, James Franco's younger brother.
Yeah.
Dave?
Did you say creep? Because
he's also a creep?
Major creep? I don't know, but James Franco is not.
Oh, total creep.
Not of the type we like.
Not of the type we like. But I feel like the younger brother played in like a TV show too. Let me look.
Was James Franco in Scooby-Doo or Freddie Prinze Jr.? Is he related to James Franco or am I making that up?
I mean, does Prince sound like Franco?
I mean, like, is he related? Is James Franco related to Lisa Frank? They sound the same. That was an inside joke that should have made it onto the air.
Things that sound the same are not the same, guys.
We're playing the long game with jokes lately. Our producer, Mark, very much inspired us. Mark said that he did something so petty. I hope I could share this. He said that for like a whole year, he put a pebble in his brother's shoe every day.
Mark's like, you're literally ruining a 30-year-old joke.
Sorry.
Because his brother's a listener of the podcast.
Because he's still putting the pebble in his shoe. Oh my God. Okay. So any other crushes I should know about?
I should know about, as if it's like
anything, any of your
other
lore
conditions.
that I need to, any of your lore I need to catch up on.
I feel like generally the like misunderstood sad boy in any of these like shows, that was like where my crush category lies.
I have a good one.
Not that it's any different today.
Life with Derek. Did you have a crush on Derek?
What is Life with Derek?
That was a show. It was like a Canadian show that made it to Disney Channel.
Let me see. I feel like I did. If it was on the DC, Disney
it was
Channel,
on the DC. It was on the DC. We were sipping DCs, watching the DC.
Life with Derek.
Yeah, it was a Canadian show.
It's a Canadian. I love how you like.
That's all I know about it. That's literally the only thing I remember.
There was a person on this show you had a crush on?
Derek.
Derek
from Life with Derek. Life of Derek?
Life with Derek.
Life with Derek.
Which one's Derek?
Good question. I think top middle.
I'm like, oh.
I don't remember.
Wait, did you have a crush on the dad?
No, but I think I would now.
Who's the Derek?
I don't know. Okay, I have another question.
Yeah.
And this is something I've been thinking about since childhood. Because, like, you know, when you would talk about crushes with, like, your girlfriends, there was always someone that was like, oh, me? I need you to finish your drink first. I have a crush on Danny Phantom. Or some other fucking inanimate person. And I'm like, I understand you're still coming to terms with your sexuality, but cartoon characters aren't in the they're not an option.
I mean, I think it is an option. Think about all the like anime porn that exists.
Right. It's still not an option. That's why those people who watch it are incels.
Or maybe it's like pre-selecting the fetish.
Sorry, just staying on trend with the kink shaming.
Wait, okay. For archival sake, we must note that during your trip out in Los Angeles, we were validated in our argument that walking somebody on a leash at the zoo is inappropriate.
Because, and the reason we were given is because the people didn't consent to be a part of their kink,
exactly.
to be a visualizer. They didn't consent
to being used for the kink,
to be a voyeur in it.
So I thought that was really interesting, and it validated us.
I thought it was as well. And I have to say, I told the story about the guy in the rug who lives in New York who likes to be stepped on inside of a rug at parties and on the street. Cute. And I need our listeners who are in New York who have attended these parties. We're going to get like some kind of hotline for you to call in and tell us your story, because honestly, he's real. And I don't think the people in LA are hip to the rug guy. What's his name? I think his name is Kevin.
I mean, it would. But yeah, for those who are wondering, it is sexual.
It is sexual.
And you don't need to partake if you don't want.
You don't need to.
But, okay, back to kink shaming.
No, I just honestly want to know, like, what childhood did you have a crush on a cartoon character at any point? Like, and what does a crush constitute?
Yeah, that was what was always confusing as well, where it was like these Disney princess stuff where it's like, but the prince is a cartoon.
Right. And so is the princess.
And yeah, it's all kind of like this weird. It's weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah, I don't think.
I never had a crush on a cartoon character. I'll tell you that confidently.
I don't even know how I would. I feel like you would know if you had a crush on a cartoon character.
I have a friend who says that foxes, like cartoon foxes, like the Fox and the Hound, are hot. And she also, in similar fashion, is slightly attracted to Chester Cheeto. She's because it's like, maybe it's the charisma of a cartoon character that people can be attracted to. Maybe it's a little bit of the Tism Riz.
I think it's a fetish.
Cartoon character crushes?
Yeah.
What if they're innocent? Like, she thinks the Fox and the Hound. She thinks the fox is hot.
Yeah.
She's an adult, by the way.
Yeah. That feels like a fetish.
You think?
Like a light one.
A light F.
There's nothing wrong with having a fetish. Like.
Yeah. No, there's not.
No derogatory fetish.
No kink shame or anything.
No kink shame, but like, I'm just not gonna watch cartoons with you.
Crazy.
Because like it's like a little too arousing for you.
Yeah, you're feeling feelings, and I'm just watching a cartoon show.
I also just generally.
I don't watch cartoons because I'm 30. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Lately I've been like seeing a lot of new like creators on my Explore page on TikTok, and they're in the weed space, and they're using terms that really have been made popularized by Gen Z weed culture.
It's crazy.
There's a whole new slew. Like, we're not using like our parents' terms anymore. We're starting to maybe sound a bit outdated.
I feel like I sound so outdated.
I think that we're getting outdated.
I'm like, oh, doob, and people are like,
a what?
Boomer.
Roll a doob?
A doobie.
But one of the words I would like to share with the class is the word blinker.
I don't get what that means, and I was curious to hear what you were going to say.
So blinker, or doing a blinker, is when you take a weed pen and you either hit it until it starts blinking that it can't let out any more vapor. Or you do that, but in like a bong or something else to filter it. So taking like a blinker hit out of a bong.
It's like the maximum hit.
Of a vape pen. Yeah. Yes. The maximum allowed in one breath is called a blinker. And people will say,
are people not hitting it like that?
I don't hit vape pens like that. Do you? Do you hit it for like 7 to 10 seconds each time and then exhale? I like quickly hit it and then exhale and then hit it and exhale. Like,
e-cigs, I hit and exhale. Weed pens, I'll take a longer slow hit, because sometimes also if it's like a thick extract, like it needs to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, I get that, but like if it needs to warm up a little bit, that's not the nature of a blinker.
But I definitely feel like when I was first vaping, I was doing solely blinker hits.
So true, same. But I feel like
I just didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I think like the idea of a blinker is like your thing is already hot and you're taking it almost to the extreme that you would take like a super big glob dab. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the idea.
Like,
get ripped.
What's it called? Like finishing your dinner, like having the whole bowl.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That was so funny with We had like 3 clips of Hashels, and I was like to Adriana, finish your fucking dinner.
Finish your dinner, especially when it has rotini on it.
Yeah, and hash,
like it's if it's a Hasholini and you have to, a new term for Gen Z. This one we'll gift to you if you want to use it. We already talked about Hasholini, which is a hash hole with a rotini in it, Hasholini. And you told me recently about a very unique term that Gen Z is using, and it's also vape pen related.
Yeah, because they're all about the vape pens.
It's so funny. It's a sign of their consumption.
Do they even want the Hasholini? They don't even know how to roll. Oh my God, do less Gen Z... This would be a really interesting statistic. Which generation rolls the best? Millennials or Gen Z?
Might be boomers.
Or boomers.
Might be boomers because they had no choice. I feel like they had little janky little pipes, but they were definitely rolling doobies without filters.
I think our generation rolls the best.
Our generation does roll the best, but I do know a lot of people in weed who still can't roll.
And we're on a mission to end that.
We are on a mission to end that. And I feel like boomers didn't even have cones back then. There was no such thing as a cone. They had to roll everything themselves.
That's correct. Will you hand me that later, please? But so okay.
I was about to pass this.
It's okay. We can have 2 in rotation.
Oh.
So the kids have been calling it the Penjamin, is what I've been seeing on the TikTokies.
What's actually kind of funny is like, I guess you could call it Penjamin button, like the button on it.
Exactly. I'm wondering if it's from that.
Wow.
It's kind of like how I call my jewel like Julia.
Well, it's also that's cute.
Yeah.
It's also kind of how
we do not promote the use of tobacco.
When someone, I do. When someone is calling themselves him, like, oh, I'm him, they call themselves Himothy. Like, oh, I'm Himothy.
Oh.
Or like, that's Himothy. If it's like hitting. Penjamin.
That's where Himothy's from?
Himothy.
I don't know if we should put this in the pot or not, but Life is Not Grape just changed his username to that.
Oh, did he?
And I was like, what does Himothy mean?
That's actually hysterical. I didn't notice that.
It's still Life is Not Grape, but it's like Himothy Grape.
His name is Himothy.
I was like, this is hilarious. I didn't... Wow. That's goofy as fuck.
That is actually very goofy. Penjamin had me
I keep telling Sarah this, that she would be excellent at doing like a 5-minute recap, literally less, 30-second recap of like what you need to know to be like
slang
up to date with like Gen Zs on a day-to-day basis.
I don't know why I get served so much Gen Z stuff. Actually, I feel like you kind of get served more than me.
Yeah, but you get Gen Z cool stuff. I get Gen Z Mormon.
Respect. Yeah.
And they are mutually exclusive.
Speaking of Gen Z, they are very mutually exclusive.
Should we tell them about the comment in the car yesterday?
What? I don't remember.
I told Sarah I was so grateful to have her as a friend because she's one of my only non-Christian friends.
Literally same.
I was like, it's so nice to be open about this with you.
It's like, oh my God, wow. Wow, it's crazy that we could be in this car together and both not be Christians. So stupid.
It's so dumb.
No offense.
No offense, but sometimes it's hard to carry Jesus around when you don't even know him.
So speaking of Gen Z, they're teens, some of them. So I wonder if they're going to their first like quinceañeras and sweet 16s. Did you attend, or bat mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs? Did you attend both? What have you attended?
Whatever.
Have you been to bars and bots?
I've been to bars and bots.
I've never been to a bar or a bot.
Really?
In my life.
In your whole life?
In my whole life.
I've been to many.
I'm actually kind of jelly.
It's fine. It's whatever.
I hope by the time I have kids, I can be at a bar or a bot as like a parent.
It's like, it's a little earlier than Sweet 16 and quinceañera. So it's like
14?
13.
Wow.
And 12 sometimes. Wow. And so.
Did you have a bot?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Why am I retroactively jealous?
I didn't know you.
I know. That's why I'm like, why am I jealous? Like,
it was cool. Like, mine was very family based, which is how it should be. But I feel like in New York, it gets blown out of proportion into like a huge ass party because it's like the Jewish Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. But the problem is the kids are literally 12 and 13 or 14 if they're siblings, and like it's very young.
It's very young.
Sweet 16s were much more fun.
But I feel like the magnitude of things, it's because like that is when you become a woman or become a man.
It's like you literally got your period.
Crazier. Yeah, I guess so.
You know?
Yeah.
But the parties themselves, Sweet 16 was more fun.
Agreed. And I feel like by the time you turn 16, you're more emotionally mature and ready for that party. I attended a few Sweet 16s. I didn't have one of my own.
I didn't have one of my own.
But you had a bot.
And I had a party on my 16th birthday at my house.
Okay.
With a cake.
I don't think I really like did any of that. But
I had like 6 friends. July, baby. I was like,
yeah,
my exactly. 5 friends who were in the city. We had cake at my house.
Have a slice of Carvel cake.
And then yeah.
Yep, totally. All right, so I attended Sweet 16s, and it's funny, back then I feel like a reasonable amount for you to be able to like give in a birthday card at a Sweet 16 was like $30.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting old. $30. You'd go in a party dress that was literally like, remember those dresses that you would wear that were essentially like a top and then a flowy bottom, but they were all like silky, and we would all wear them with like flats.
Yeah.
And then we'd have digital cameras in the mirror as Sweet 16s. Do you remember the candles?
No.
Like when they do the 16 candles?
No.
Okay.
I didn't go to like, I think I only went to like one Sweet 16 like bash. And then I don't think I went to any that were like.
Sweet 16s in New York were kind of like weddings.
Yeah, like I only went to one that was like that, but there was no candle situation. And then the others were all just rowdy parties, but like no candle bullshit.
No formal.
But at bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs, there's like a similar thing that you do.
You do candles? Yeah. All right, so there's a dais, which is essentially your wedding party, but you're 16 having a birthday instead. So it's like your favorite few people, sometimes wearing a different dress, you know, held to a higher standard, and they sit on like a stage of sorts compared to the rest of those in attendance. Wow, we have 2 out. So your dais was there, and then your 16 candles, they'd be like, candle number 1 is for my cousins Leela and Marco, and they get the cousin candle, woo! And then they'd be like, all the theater kids get candle number 2, and like everybody would like go up and take photos with the bride / Sweet 16 girl.
So weird.
You know what's actually funny? I don't know if you've actually seen any of the Romani people, otherwise known as gypsies. They'll have a gypsy wedding, which is usually some kind of crossover between a Sweet 16 and a wedding.
Mm-hmm. Well, and because that is what the Sweet 16 married. Is kind of about.
Yeah.
It's like presenting this like child bride. Mm-hmm. Like, she's available.
She's here and around and
fertile
and gaudy baby.
Yeah, Sweet 16s. I was invited to one quinceañera and I was so excited to go. And
I was never.
I was so excited. And 2 weeks before the party, me and one of my best friends at the time, who's still one of my very close friends, we went to the park in Central Park and we met these boys and we got really drunk. And then I like got home and was wasted. And my parents were like, what are you doing? And I had to tell them I drank alcohol from random boys.
And they basically
I was so grounded. I was grounded forever from
like
that.
They didn't let you go to the Sweet 16.
Quinceañera. And I was all like, guys, like, she's my friend.
You're like, I won't be drinking.
It's a cultural situation. Like, this is a really big moment for her. Like, her family's flying in. And they were like,
shouldn't have drank alcohol.
Shouldn't drink alcohol from random guys you don't know from Long Island.
It's always the Long Island.
It's always the Long Island boys. I literally have him
Scumbags.
in my phone still as like Matt Long Island.
Matt Long Island scumbag. Oh wait, so you are friends with them now?
The
boys?
I never saw them again after that day. We just like had exchanged numbers.
We should prank phone call them on the pod.
That's hilarious. I think my friend may have like seen him again. I don't know.
Well, I can ensure she'll never see him again. Give me your phone. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so
in recent New York news, AI is coming into play at the subway station. We just got Omni. We're now doing a tap to pay, so we're being tracked in a certain way. Definitely.
Jesus.
Now I heard a story on TikTok that says, and there's loads of people in the comment section that are in agreement and say that something similar has happened to them. This girl said that she couldn't get through because she had too many grocery bags.
Mm-hmm.
So someone let her in, like the person in the booth, the MTA person, let her through. So she went through the door and got on her train, didn't think about it. And then on Apple Pay, saw a notification that her phone's credit card was charged because she walked through the station. She did not tap to pay. The only thing that could be the common denominator here is AI and her having Apple Pay on her wallet in her phone.
That's nuts.
So, how do we feel, New Yorkers, about hopping the turnstile? It's kind of becoming that thing where, like, you know, when Target stores will actually wait till you reach felony level of stealing to, like, stop you so they can persecute.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they're not going to stop you off of $200. Usually it's like $2,000 or something that they stop you and they're like, we caught you stealing, but they won't say anything about it prior. And they do, like, they see your face at self-checkout and everything too. So I do think AI is starting to play a role majorly in what they perceive as thievery, which in the case of the MTA, I wouldn't consider that thievery. I've had people let me in, not civilians, like people who are working
Employees,
for the MTA. Yeah.
Okay, not to get super deep, but I'm going to take it there. I think and we've been having this conversation this week, but as, for example, global warming continues and AI continues to be developed, there's this like clear and more visible elitist class system that's being created between those who are online, who are who are signed up for things, who are like, true. Who are in these things, who have air conditioning, who have access to like water regularly, clean water. Mm-hmm. Like all these things are becoming more and more separate. And it's like, what are you going to do about an undocumented person who's not on like Apple Pay in New York? Yep. Like it's just creating a different way, because recently they changed the laws in New York where it wasn't an arrestable offense to be jumping the turns, like fare evasion.
Yeah. And now it is?
No, but it's like now if you don't like, I'm wondering how like the law plays into AI as well.
Same.
And like how AI benefits certain people in the eyes of the law.
Yep.
Like AI is only helpful if you are helpful to it, or like if
you have something to feed it back, or if they can have one over on you. Because it's like if you have a card for them to charge,
like it feels like
the difference between them just charging your card almost a convenience fee, although it doesn't necessarily have your consent, versus somebody who can potentially get arrested and
bro,
put into
we
jail.
talked about this with MJ last time.
Yep.
About the Metro card and Omni. Like New York is such a haven as well, like where people come and escape, and like, what if you're on the run somewhere, you're leaving an abusive household, an abusive relationship, and you're like running and you're taking the subway and suddenly it shows up on the statement of your shared account.
Yeah.
Like it's becoming extremely scary to see like how obviously certain things would be great. Like I would love to not have to like fish for my Metro card when I have like 8 million bags and it's winter and I'm like, oh, I gotta take the gloves off and that like phone your
and we would be also remiss to say that it there's not situations that we benefit from it.
Exactly. And sometimes it could
like
be
if
nice.
somebody who is like mentally disabled goes missing, they'll be able to see that they, you know, scanned their phone at a certain subway station. Agreed. And you're able to like find them and, you know, get them help.
Or kids who are lost, for example.
Exactly.
Oh my God. The number of times when I was a kid where the doors close and it was before like cell phones and Find My iPhone and all this thing. Like you would just hope that the other person would have the common sense to like stay put.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, but there's no communication.
There's no communication.
Exactly.
So there are benefits, but it is also very scary. And I think it's a lot.
Things are happening. And they're happening rapidly. And the price of the MTA ride is now going up from $2.75 to $2.90, which is an insane $2.90. Did you know that?
No, I did. That's almost $3 a ride.
And it's almost like make it $3. You're just gonna keep increasing.
It's going to be $3 right after. It's just
and it's just that it's going to keep climbing. Like I think using an increment like that is going to make it excusable for it to go up 10 to 15 cents more frequently than it does currently.
Agreed. And like once you're above 3, then it's like, what are we talking about?
It's unreal.
Here?
The only other thing more expensive at this point would be
like how can
an express bus?
How would you like afford
it's like
food
$8
and like it becomes really just not.
It's unbelievable. Yep.
Well, on this on this very serious note about the economy and AI.
Yeah, let's jump into the economy really quick before we leave them.
Let's get to it.
How are things doing?
Okay, so
what's your forecast?
We've been doing some like bagel. Oh my God, this is not egg salad.
What is it?
This is another tomato and cream cheese sandwich.
Or maybe it's just the wrong one. I didn't eat the tomato and cream cheese.
Maybe.
Okay, open it. It's also sesame, right?
Yeah, great. We've been having some bagel issues this morning, which honestly doesn't fare well for the economy. Let's say that.
It's not looking good.
But basically, we've been doing these readings where we look at the sesames on our bagel to like get a forecast about how things are going in the world. And honestly, it hasn't failed us. And so we should take a look.
Wow. Show the camera.
How do I?
Take one half. Just grab it. I don't care if you touch it. Half. Yep.
Look at this. Look at this sesame structure. We're bagel influencers. Honestly,
I think the economy is doing better.
The economy is doing better, but it's also like a fucking tiny bagel.
That is also a factor.
Like,
it's a small bagel.
It's like this feels like doing our best with what we have bagel.
And you know what? Let's also not forget that they did
the order's wrong.
The order is completely incorrect, and I ordered egg and cheese, and they gave cream cheese with tomato. But and that is not faring well either. But so it's in mixed reviews this week. The 8-Ball says try again later.
Yeah. It doesn't look good, but it could always be worse, as the Jews like to say.
It could be. And on that note, it could always be worse. You could have not been listening to Not For Nothing today. So make sure you download our episodes, like, comment, subscribe. You could find us at Not For Nothing Pod on social media. You could follow me at How Can I Help You?
And you can follow me at Natasha PRZ or Pussyweed.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.